Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The DRF Bets Race of the Day for Friday, June the 8th is the Grade 2 $600,000 New York Stakes for fillies and mares on the turf. You can play it with your own DRF Bets account. This is the race of the day on Belmont Stakes Eve, and you can join the Belmont Stakes action with free cash. Learn more at drf.com/bet. Let's take a look at this field of quality graded stakes caliber fillies and mares. Again, going 1.25 miles on the inner turf. You can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them and handicap along with us. Mike and I will take this field in post position order. And Mike, the number one Fahan Mura, you're very familiar with from her exploits in New York last fall. How would you describe her transformation for trainer Vladimir Serin?
You sure you want to call them exploits that she had in New York last year? I don't know if I would call them that. Listen, I guess she just really likes the firm turf courses in Southern California, unless it's something else. I don't know. She's obviously improved a lot. She has found her speed out in Southern California. She's used it to great effect. She's won 4 races in a row, and she keeps getting faster. I can't shake the memories I have of her form in New York, and I just cannot like her in this race, although I know she'll be on the lead.
Her form in New York was dismal. Her form in Southern California has been fantastic. 4 for 4 for this barn, and as we see from the Timeform U.S. pace projector, Fahan Mura's going to the lead, barring a disastrous break. But
Right.
she is stretching out from 1 mile to 1.25 miles and taking a gigantic hike in class.
There's a lot working against her in this race, but she's in good form.
The number 2, Holy Helena, is also in very good form for Jimmy Jurgens. I mean, heck, last year on synthetic, she swept the Woodbine Oaks and the Queen's Plate against males. A lot of people forget she was actually favored in the Grade 1 Alabama at Saratoga, but she has found herself as a middle to longer distance turf horse for trainer Jimmy Jurgens. Very impressive 3 for 3 this year. What'd you think of her performance in the Sheepshead Bay? I think she overcame a little bit of a lack of pace, and she really gutted it out.
I thought she ran great in that race. I mean, overall, I thought the trip was fine. You know, you're right, the pace wasn't that fast. I like the way she held her position all the way around the turn in that race. Once she got out to the clear in the race, I thought she fired a good one to close that race down. I like all 3 of her turf races, Dan. I think she's going really good right now. She'll get a good trip in this race. You know, it's going to be hard for her, I think, to beat the favorite in the race, who we'll get to in a minute. But I think she's a contender in here. She's a horse I want to use somewhere.
You'll notice in the pace projector, horse lacking pace data. That's the number 3, Snowy Winter, and that's because she is a European import. This will be start number 20. She has raced exclusively in England. We'll get Lasix and Javier Castellano. Those are 2 very good things, but when you look at the horses she's been against overseas, that's not the strongest quality field she's been facing.
Yeah, we'll see how she classes up over here. This feels like a tough spot to me for a horse like her. She's placed in a couple of stakes recently, but overall she's more of a handicapper over there. This is a tough spot for her.
I've always been a fan of the 4 Empress of the Nile, but I just think this might be too tough a spot for the James Bond trainee. I also thought that Jose Ortiz might have ridden her a little bit too confidently last time out.
Yeah, listen, this is probably a pretty tough spot for a horse like her, but she's pretty good. I mean, I don't feel like she's necessarily, you know, Grade 1 and Grade 2 level turf horse, especially going longer, but she's pretty good. She's run some good races. I still feel like she's getting better. I'm with you. I don't know if it was, I want to blame Jose for it, because she tends to have that move in her where she'll go early in her races and take them over. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It didn't work last time. I think she's a little interesting here at a very big price, though, at least underneath.
The horse they're all going to have to beat is your morning line favorite, however, the number 5, Sister Charlie, who had a pretty good year last year for only running 5 times. Second in the French Oaks, second in the Belmont Oaks, and then she came back off of a very long layoff at a distance that might be a little short for her. That was at 1 mile and 16 from the Grade 1 Jenny Wiley, and I thought John Velasquez pushed all the right buttons.
Well, he definitely did. I mean, he gave her an absolutely perfect trip in that race. On the other hand, you know what? She was there for him when he got her into the clear, and she really ran through the stretch. I don't know, Dan, I was just really impressed with her Jenny Wiley. And, you know, just going through this field top to bottom, the more I look at it, the more I just think she's going to be super hard to beat.
She popped a 104 buyer in that race. The pace projector has her in a very good spot, close to the pace. And again, getting out to this 1.25 mile distance shouldn't be a problem. Chad's got the horse to beat in Sister Charlie. Daddy's Little Darling is a graded stakes winner at 1.25 miles. She took the American Oaks 3 starts back with a picture perfect trip under Mike Smith that day. And Smith is back aboard. Last time out in the Bewitched Stakes, did you get the feeling I know it was disappointing that she lost at odds on to Mom's on Strike, but did you get the feeling that that was a race where the last run was the best run and maybe she moved a little too soon?
I did get that feeling. I also felt like when I watched it, I know that, you know, she's very versatile in terms of distance and trip. I felt like maybe the mile and a half got to her a little bit. She gets a little bit of a cut back here. She's a good horse. I have no problem with her, and she's run some really good races. It just sort of feels like she needs to find a little bit more against horses like this. As one of the shorter prices on the morning line, I think she's third choice in the line. I might try and get her out of there.
7 Esquisse, 20-1 in the morning line for Graham Motion. This is a stakes winner in France, making the third start of the form cycle, third start in North America. I think this filly has some improving to do, but stretching out in distance is a little bit of a question mark here.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I guess if you like her in this race, you like her for 2 reasons. Obviously, she's going to be a very good price, and she's well connected. She has a nice pedigree, but I guess you're just hoping that she really just wants to stretch out in the mile and a quarter to really help her, because otherwise, she's just not that competitive in here.
The 8 is 4-star Crook, like the morning line favorite. This one is trained by Chad Brown. Here's a positive formulator fact for 4-star Crook. Over the past 5 years, older turf routers coming off a 45 to 60-day layoff in graded stakes at Belmont, 28% to $2.50 ROI. I know 4-star Crook is 10 for 16, and that is a sensational record.
Unbelievable.
I think she's even surprised Chad with her level of performances at times, because when you look back at the way Chad campaigned her in 2016, 2017, it was mostly against fellow New York Reds where she could bully him around. The occasional graded stake where he knew she had an edge on the field. He's brought her back this year in some confident spots in the Hillsborough and the Jenny Wiley, and this mare's performed.
Yeah, listen, she just happens to be one of them. I think maybe you're right. Maybe she's surprised a little bit, and she just happens to be that horse. Doesn't matter where you run her, she just shows up, and she really runs every time. I like her last 2 races. I think she's ran well both times, with some things that went her way in those races. I thought she got maybe the best trip in the race when she won the Hillsborough. She ran well last time, just no match for Sister Charlie. Are you worried about distance for her? I'm a little worried about distance. I know she was third in the EP Taylor. I don't know, man. I felt like she was maybe third by default a little bit, and there are a lot of horses not running in the stretch.
We talked about that in handicapping the Jenny Wiley, that the mile and a 16th that day might have favored 4-star Crook more than Sister Charlie, and it was Sister Charlie to get the job done. At the shorter distance, you would think she might be more effective going long, but she's a hard hitter, 4-star Crook. As for Mom's on Strike, she's a pretty hard hitter in her own right. All she's done is won 5 of her last 6 starts, and last time was the first time they ever really stretched her all the way out. And guess what? She liked it. It was one of her best races ever. Maybe this is what she's been screaming out for all this time, even with a tremendous win record of late.
Yeah, true enough. And it was nice to see that they could, throw some more distance at her, and she would handle that too, because I thought that was a little bit of a question going into the Bewitch also, and she handled it fine. Now she's going to step up once again. She's going to face some more better horses. I like her overall, Dan. I've always liked her as a horse, and I'm happy to see her sort of transfer over to turf, and she handles it fine. I guess she could get a piece of this. I don't like her on top in this race.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 2 New York Stakes, Friday's DRF Bets race of the day. Can't get past Sister Charlie. I mean, I know Johnny V gave her a great ride, but once she got into the clear in mid-stretch, she powered away. Her race in the Belmont Oaks preceding that long layup, I thought was an excellent effort. There was always some buzz and class about her when she was racing in France, and it's not like she's some one-run closer. I think she can pull a trip.
I think all those things are true. I mean, to me, she was just too hard to go, guys. I know she's going to be a short price. I'm a big fan of Holy Helen. I like what she's done on turf. I don't think I can go against this horse.
How much do you lean on Sister Charlie in the picks?
I think a lot. If I'm playing this pick forward, I probably will. Probably put a lot of money through her. I'm going to use Holy Helen as a backup,
because she has been razor sharp for Jimmy Jerkins. 5, 2, 4, and 9 for Mike. 5, 8, 1, and 2 for me in the Grade 2 New York Stakes, Friday's DRF Bets race of the day. Again, if you're playing the race of the day from home, if you're playing anything, this entire Belmont Stakes Racing Festival long weekend, join the Belmont Stakes action with free cash. Learn more at drf.com/bet and sign up for a DRF Bets account. Approximate post time for the New York Stakes, 5:14 Eastern on Friday. Good luck.